My name's Kevin Marsh. I'm a Professor of Tropical Medicine in Oxford.
I'm Amy Styring and I'm Associate Professor of Archaeological Science. I'm based in the School of Archaeology.
My name is Professor Sir Andrew Pollard. I'm a Professor of Paediatric Infection and Immunity.
My name is Rana Mitter and I have the position of Professor of the History and Politics of Modern China.
My name is Dermot McCulloch. I am now retired Professor of the History of the Church.
My area of research throughout my career has been global health. In a broad sense, it's anything to do with health, particularly in Africa. And in a more specialist sense, my area of research is in malaria and particularly how you become immune to malaria, and that relates to the development of malaria vaccine.
My research started on the English Reformation. So my present book, it's a book about sex and the church. This is looking at the way that Christianity has interacted with questions of sex and gender and the family in its 2,000 years.
I basically researched the scientific side of archaeology. What I'm particularly interested in is what people were eating in the past, particularly when people started farming, as cities emerged and people started living more closely together, how they actually managed to produce their food, and then how that might have impacted the environment.
Well, I've been working for 25 years now on vaccines and their development and understanding immune responses. That experience had led me to be involved in the development of many different vaccines and to produce new data about them. Just before the pandemic, we had just finished a trial in almost 100,000 children testing a new typhoid vaccine.
A great deal of my research is really on mid-20th century Chinese history. It's a fascinating period. For instance, the 1910s, 20s, a period known to the Chinese as the May 4th movement, when China reformed its language, its philosophy, its way of thinking, in terms of coming to grips with modernity. I've also spent a lot of time looking at the period of the Second World War, a period when China suffered very badly with millions of deaths, but also played a very crucial role in terms of the defense of the Allied cause in China.
Well, as a fellow at St Cross, I've been involved in the college both in various of the college's activities, but also very specifically one thing which gives great pleasure is mentoring students at the college. As Vice Master, I worked with the leadership team in the college, in overseeing all the college's business and working with the master very closely, which was a huge privilege.
What I think is really nice is that as fellows we were assigned student mentees who aren't really based in our departments. I think it's the opportunity to meet people who are doing research as well, so other fellows and students and postdocs.
Certainly over the years I've given plenty of talks here, particularly on one of my own specialist subjects, which is the history of World War II in China. It's not well known in the West, so it was great to be able to organise talks about that in college over the years.
And the great joy in retirement has been to place the seminar in St Cross, Religion in Britain, 1400 to 1600. It's about, in other words, the Reformation as it happened in these islands. It means that anyone within the college can come along to a well-established seminar. They can meet other postgraduates, they can meet people who are specialists, and what better place than this college with all its facilities to do that.
And a college is a community. Each college has its own traditions, its own way of working. When I was asked to be a fellow, I was particularly drawn to the ethos of St Cross because it is both very collegial, very non-hierarchical, and it's very international. And for me, that was particularly important.
Don't be too worried about that starting out moment, but keep scrutinising how you're feeling as you go along. Is it giving you pleasure? Is it fulfilling? Do you see it going somewhere? A lot of research should not necessarily have an obvious outcome. The great thing about research is curiosity.
Academic life is really important in a university, but so are all the other opportunities that are on offer in a college and in a city like Oxford. So I would really encourage people to make the absolute most of their time, to take up things, to dare to do things you might not otherwise have thought of doing.
Take the opportunity, grasp the opportunity to meet fellow students, fellows at the college. You never know where interests might overlap or where skills might be useful to a completely different field.
The really important thing is to work hard, focus on your studies, but also think about the future and about where it is that you want to be going, because Oxford provides a huge number of opportunities for you to make sure that you're well prepared for that future.
Oxford is an extraordinarily rich and diverse place, but one thing that it values above all is an attention to really serious scholarship and study. The thing that distinguishes people in Oxford is a curiosity. People who are willing to ask often unexpected or difficult questions or think about new ways to approach old topics.